What's everyone? What's up everyone? My name is Michelle and today I'm bringing you my first crochet tutorial. I've made here a corset, tie-up, off-the-shoulder, summery, shell pattern top, whatever you want to call it. I've made this top and I have the instructions for you. It's super simple. You just have to know single crochets, half double crochets, and double crochets, and some variations on that I'll walk you through. Given that this is my first crochet tutorial, I'd love any feedback you have on how this was all put together, if I'm speaking clear enough, if you want it to move faster, slower, all of that. So leave your feedback down in the comment section and I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, if you want to learn how to make this top look as cute as me, then yeah, just keep watching. For this project, I used a 4-weight yarn. This one specifically is Red Heart Super Saver, a 4mm hook, and some stitch markers. So I'm going to go over the steps for this project. We start with the back panel, which is all in double crochets, then the front panel also in double crochets, then the bottom detail, then we have both sleeves, and then that's finally followed by the middle corset squares, the top detail, and finally the string. So start by making a slip knot, and then you're chaining a chain that's basically long enough to reach from side boob to side boob. This is where I'm showing currently from one side to the other. And for reference, I'm a size extra small to small, and I started with 70 chains. So you can just take the chain you're working with and kind of eyeball it to measure from one side of your body to the other. And after I had my 70 chains, I held on to that last chain and chained an extra 3, which then counts as my first double crochet. This whole back panel is double crochets, so it makes the work go by super quickly. To double crochet, you basically yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again. And then here you'll see this is my first row completed. To start the next row, chain 3, and then you flip your work and insert a double crochet into the second stitch, since our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. Continue double crocheting for the whole panel. I did a total of 12 rows for the yellow top since I wanted that one more cropped, and for this one I did 14. Make however many rows you want, just remember we have the top and bottom details, which adds an extra 3 inches in total. Here I'm placing my stitch markers to make the armholes for my sleeves. So I placed a stitch marker on the 3rd stitch from the left, and then another stitch marker 16 stitches after that, which was about 4 inches, and then I did the same thing on the right side. I mirrored exactly what I did on the left for the right. To make the armhole, you're gonna chain 1, flip your work, and slip stitch until you reach the stitch marker, and you're gonna slip stitch into the stitch that has the stitch marker. And from here I chained 35 chains. You want the chains to be long enough so the armhole is large enough to where you can comfortably fit your arm through it, but also you don't want it to be too loose or else the off the shoulder portion will be too saggy, and you don't want it to be too tight to where it'll restrict your arm. So just play around with the number of chains and test it out by putting your arm through it and see how it looks on you. And so continue to slip stitch across the whole panel and do the same thing once you reach the other stitch markers, so it's basically mirrored on both sides. So again, I slip stitch where the stitch marker was, chain 35, slip stitch into where the last stitch marker is, and slip stitch across to complete the row. So for the next row, you're going to chain 3, flip your work, and double crochet across. This is pretty much what we were doing before, but this time we have the armholes. Continue this for 3 more rows to complete the whole back panel. And then this is what it should look like. Next, we're working on the front panels. So this consists of single crochets and more double crochets. So I start by chaining 1, and you don't detach the yarn from where we left off with the back panel. Since we are now working sideways along that back panel, we do 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets into each double crochet. So another 1 and 2 for 1 double crochet since we're working along the side. And just continue this for the rest of your row. So once you complete your row of single crochets, chain 3, flip your work, and we're just simply double crocheting down the row like we did before. This is similar to what we did with the back panel. And I did this for a total of 5 rows of double crochets to complete both front panels. Here you'll see my 5 rows. Again, I would suggest putting it up against your body, or if you're making this for someone, make sure it doesn't cover the whole area of the chest and touch from side to side, as we still have to put the corset squares and the tie to bring it all together. And then once you're done, we're gonna just chain 1, cut and fasten, and here you'll see me reattach the yarn, and we're doing the same exact thing to the other side with what we just did with the first front panel. Once you've attached your yarn, chain 1 and just do those 2 single crochets for each double crochet again, and then the 5 or however many rows you want of double crochets to complete your front panels. Now we're moving on to the bottom detail. This consists of cross double crochets, half double crochets, and a little shell pattern. It's not too hard once you get the hang of it. You don't need to cut the yarn from where you left off with the front panel, so just rotate your work so you're working along the bottom border, chain 2, and half double crochet. So to half double crochet, we yarn over, pull through, and yarn over, pull through all 3. And so similar to how we did the front panels with the single crochets, we're putting 2 half double crochets for every double crochet we're working across. And once you reach that single crochet, just put 1 half double crochet there. And once you reach the back panel, put 1 half double crochet in each stitch. It should line up going across. So just do the same once you start working along the bottom of the other front panel. Here you see me putting 1 half double crochet in that single crochet, and then we've reached double crochet. So 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet, 2 half double crochet into each double crochet until we reach the end of the row. So for the detailed bottom, this next row consists of cross double crochets, chain 3, flip your work, and that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So the pattern is pretty simple. You just skip a stitch and you insert a double crochet into the next stitch. And from there, then we put a double crochet into the stitch you just skipped, and it creates this crossed pattern between both double crochets. So again, you'll see I'm skipping that next stitch, going into the one after, double crocheting, and then go back into the stitch you just skipped and putting a double crochet there again. And you're simply just working this pattern across. It's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. So one more time, I'm showing you how I skip a stitch, double crochet, and then go back into the stitch I just skipped and inserting a double crochet there. Once your row of cross double crochets is complete, we're just chaining 2, flipping our work, and doing a row of half double crochets again. The next row is where we'll start our shell pattern. So chain 1, and we are going to single crochet into the next stitch, and then skipping 1, 2, and into the third stitch, we are going to put 5 double crochets. So here you see 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 4 double crochets, and last but not least, our 5th double crochet. And then from there, we're skipping 1, 2, and into the third stitch we're single crocheting. And then after we single crochet, skipping 1, 2, and into the third stitch, we're doing those 5 double crochets again. Simple as that. So it's single crochet, 5 double crochets, single crochet again, and work that across your whole row. Here I'm on my 5th double crochet, and again skipping 1, 2, and into the third stitch, that single crochet. And once you've completed the whole shell pattern, your whole row should look like this. Really pretty. And to end your work, just chain 1, cut and fasten, and your bottom detail row is complete. So now we're working on the sleeves. Really simple, it's similar and nothing different to what we were doing before. Attach your yarn to the back side, so on the back panel of the armhole, chain 3, and then we're just working double crochets around. I did 3 rows of double crochets for the length of my short sleeve. You can adjust it to however long or short you want it. Once you reach the end of the row, find that chain 3, and in that third chain, we're just slip stitching to work our way up. And then chain 3, and just keep double crocheting for however many rows you want your sleeve to be. Keep in mind we do still have the bottom detail portion for the sleeves. It's no different from what we did with the bottom detail with the half double crochets, cross double crochets, and the shell pattern. So just keep in mind we have that at the end of this. And after you do your double crochets, here you can see me, I'm starting the row of half double crochets. So I started by chaining 2 and just working my way around in half double crochets here. Once the half double crochet row is complete, chain 3, and we're doing the same thing as we did before with the cross double crochets. So skip a stitch, insert a double crochet, and then go back on the stitch that you skipped and double crochet there, and just continue that along the whole arm. And so same as the bottom detail pattern, we're just chaining 2 to do another row of half double crochets around. So insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. So for our final row of the sleeve, we're just doing that same shell pattern again. Chain 1, so single crochet, and then we're skipping 1, 2, and then into the third we're doing our 5 double crochets. So 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, 3 double crochets, 4 double crochets, oh there we go, and finally our 5th double crochet. And then we're again skipping 1, 2, and going into that third stitch with a single crochet. You can probably fast forward at this point, I bet you got the shell pattern down, but just to show you again, here it is. And so everything you did with this sleeve, you'll be doing the exact same thing to the other side. So attach your yarn to the back panel and then just do the same thing you did here. And to end our row, we just slip stitch into that chain 1 and then chain 1, and we're able to cut and fasten our work from there, and there you have your sleeve. So next we're working on the corset squares. This consists of single crochets, double crochets, and some chains. Nothing different from what we did before, and this is the area that our tie goes through, so everything is held together in front. Attach your yarn to the top of the front panel, and from there we chain 3 and then double crochet across the row. Simple as that. the next row, we're going to chain 5. So 4 and 5. Flip our work, and then we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and into the third we're putting a double crochet, and then chain 2, skip 2 stitches, put a double crochet into that third stitch, chain 2, skip 1, 2, and into that next third stitch, put a double crochet. Last time, chain 2, skip 2 into the third stitch, double crochet, and then just work this across the whole row. For the next row, chain 1, flip your work, and we're doing a row of single crochets. So for this first single crochet, I put it in that little space in the corner just because I want neat edges, but that next single crochet, I just put it into the chain space, and then work that next single crochet into the stitch from the double crochet in the row prior, 2 single crochets into the chain space, 1, 2, and then single crochet into the stitch from the double crochet before, 2 single crochets into the chain space, single crochet into the stitch, and just continue this along the whole row. For the last row, we chain 1, flip our work, and we're simply just working single crochets across the whole row. So chain 1, cut and fasten your work to end off the corset squares, and do the same exact thing to the other side of the front panel. I'm so sorry, I lost footage because my phone started overheating and I don't think it saved the recording for the top detail, but I'm putting all the instructions here. It's nothing different from what we did before. You just want to attach your yarn to one of the corners, the top corners of the corset squares we were just working on, and then from there do a row of single crochets, do another row of single crochets, and then finally you end off with the shell pattern that we did before. So the single crochets, skip 2 stitches into the third stitch, put 5 double crochets, and then skip 2 stitches into the third stitch, put a single crochet, and continue that along the whole row. And last but not least, we have the string that ties it all together. Super easy. You're going to make a chain. I made about, I believe, 170 chains, and then I went back on that with just single crochets. I like the thicker look just because it brings everything together and it closes up the top a bit more. So you can do slip stitches, single crochets, whatever you prefer. If you want to see future tutorials, definitely give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. It means so much to me as a first-time creator. And I'll also leave my Instagram, my crochet Instagram page down in the description box in case you want to DM me about any help you need, or if you have future suggestions on videos. I'm always open to that.